My name is James Power. I'm 25 years old and I'm from Croydon in London. I'd say I got into scooters when I was like maybe, I must have been like 11, but I'd done other sports as well. So I used to rollerblade and a bit of skateboarding. But yeah, got into it around 11, I'd say. And then more seriously towards 14, I started to enjoy it more, started to pursue it. I've always done a lot of sports. Like I used to do swimming and all sorts when I was younger. I used to be into gymnastics a little bit, but I think I got into scooters purely because when I was rollerblading, I used to have a lot of injuries. I was a lot more fearless back then, I guess you could say. So the idea of like throwing my body around doing gymnastics was like more favourable back then. Whereas as you get older, the more broken bones you get, I was kind of like, and I only really got into scooters because like I saw someone turn up to a skate park one day on them and I'd hurt my ankle, so I started to use them to get around. So when I started seeing people doing tricks on them, I was like, oh, that's kind of mad, let me see. And it turns out they just have a lot of variation in tricks, you know, as we've seen over the last 10 years as the sport's just gone ridiculously big. No, not at all, not even. So like, I'm 25, but like there was people doing scootering from time ago, like, but today's kids, I don't think they realise that. I think that the respect in scootering in the sense of what an OG is no, I'm not saying it's not relevant, because we respect people that we used to watch. You know, I look back at videos of like, for example, Martin and Graham Kimball, and like they did a kickless way before you would see all this modern stuff, you know. So like there's people from many previous years, like when Micro was like seriously a big brand, you know, you saw videos like Ben J, you know, when people dropped video parts and like they were really clocking views on YouTube, it was before that Instagram takeover, you know. But no, not at all. I don't think I'm an OG or anything like that. I just like to have fun on my scooter, that's it, you know. As long as I'm having a good time and everyone else around me is having a good time, and that's a good environment for me, whether you're riding street or whether you're riding a skate park, like, it's just good to spread positive vibes, you know. So like, I don't care if I'm sessioning with, for example, a rider capable of doing a double flow whip, or if I'm sessioning with someone who's a beginner. If that beginner's just learned to drop in, I'm going to be just as stoked for them as the same person who's just done double flow whip, you know. So I think it's just trying to keep that positive energy in scootering is all I try and do now, you know. But I've been doing it for a little while, so, you know. Okay, I would say, in my opinion, that as a sport, you look at athletes like Ryan Williams, people that you know, his capability on wheels, he's showcasing that like not only do scooters have more of a variety than other sports, but a lot of scooter riders have come from other sports. So like they're then taking those scooter tricks that are already like Rubik's cubes in the air, and they're applying it to other sports. And I think that Ryan's legacy in the sense of getting 3 X Games gold medals just speaks volumes, that like just how talented a lot of these modern riders are, because we've gone from being scooter riders to athletes now, sort of thing. Like that's kind of the podium that we're starting to really put it on. And you can really see that in like, especially in the UK, which is like big homegrown territory for scootering. You know, a lot of people, they treat it like the same way we treat football now. It's so serious, like everyone's talking about riders and competitions and who's doing what. I think the only difference now between, I guess you could say 10 years ago, for example, like there's a lot of, you know, friendships come and go a lot more. Whereas in the past, people were just riding, having a good time with friends. Whereas now, a lot of people come across as serious, but you know, they're having a great time. And I think that there's a lot of professionalism in the sport. So I don't really think there's any of that saltiness really there, because these guys really put their neck on the line every day. And it's like, I don't understand how they're doing that now. I never thought scooters would have got this big. The only downfall, I think, is with the younger generation. because every parent plasters their kid on Instagram, and it's like they're all good. That's the problem now. Like the standard for being amazing, there's so many people that are already at that standard, so like the picking order is kind of like, it just seems a bit hard, you know, because the whole point of them having a sponsored rider is for them to make sales. To some degree, that's how business works. So I don't know, like I could go on forever on that, to be honest. I actually was in a skate park that was predominantly, like, it was always rollerbladers, skateboards, and BMX. For many years I rode a break, and then eventually, I think just because of like social pressure and interest, I eventually stemmed away from that. And that's when I felt like I really was starting to learn more. Like, I don't care about having a break or not. I don't use it anymore anyway, to be honest. I think it's interesting though how scooters have sort of, it's almost like they've evolved. So we've gone from like having longer, wider decks to bigger wheels to cheddy fenders to wheel guards to box decks, wider urethane wheels. Like it's not like they've got beefier, but they've changed, you know, like the whole, and it's almost like they're constantly unlocking new tricks now. So I don't know, it's all kind of mad to me, you know, the whole industry, but I love it. It's fun, you know. Okay, so I was on a couple of brands over a couple of years. I think that when I got my first major sponsorship, it was of a brand called Crisp. And to me at the time, it was like, that was my favorite brand. You know, I had a lot of respect. I still do have a lot of respect for, like, you know, everything that they were able to do for me. You know, they took me under their wing, helped me develop my style. And over time, it just like, it opens up opportunities, you know, like I never would have been able to do certain things. Like traveling to America and stuff, and going and doing all these crazy tours and stuff. Like, they're memories that I'm gonna have forever, you know. So, and I'm grateful that I had that opportunity, you know, because I remember I worked really hard for a long time, just like I was just trying to be the best version of myself, you know, just going to work, having fun on my scooter, like, you know, nothing serious. Like, I was never. Like, there's always that dream in the back of your mind, but like, you know, when you're just sort of dealing with reality and adult life, you know, you pay bills and all of a sudden this opportunity comes your way and you're like, whoa, you know. But you know, there are pros and cons to everything, but like there were some really amazing memories that I had, and I'll never forget them, you know, and I'll always be grateful for them, you know. They helped continue to mold me into like, learn new tricks, I guess you could say. So I don't want to say they molded me as a rider, but without them I wouldn't have had the knowledge I have now, you know. So yeah, I think sponsors are cool, but I also think that riding for yourself and just doing it for your own personal entertainment, you know, sessioning with your friends, it's such a crazy sport. And it sounds kind of cliche in a way, but it's a little bit magic, scooters. There's something a little bit magic about them, like just, yeah. And just the way that they kind of defy physics in a sense with what people are doing, I think it is really quite an incredible sport. No, so I do not ride for any brands. That ship has sort of sailed in my lifetime, you know. As I said, I'm 25, and like, I couldn't imagine doing what people are doing on scooters now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I go out and have a good time, but like, I can't imagine what people are, like, how they're doing it, like, on every day. That blows my mind. So I couldn't keep up with that kind of standard. Not at all. But I think that, like, you know, mentally, no, I'm in a good place. You know, like, there is a lot of stresses that comes with, you know, when someone's sponsored, and I can't imagine the pressure they would have on their shoulders nowadays. You know, but I think that, you know, it's very important that we think about the fact that this is, to a lot of people now, this has literally become like their world, their everything. And whether we like this Instagram generation or not, like their ideology of fun is to go out and film absolute insane clips and put them on Instagram as edits. And that's just the modern twist. That if that's what this new generation is doing, that's how it be. Like, we were in the YouTube generation, we're now in the Instagram generation. That's where the sport seems to be evolving, you know, for advertisement purposes, for promotional purposes. Like, it's very self-explanatory. You know, it's a very easy platform. But there is, on the con side of scootering, there is the sense of like some riders do get done dirty. I'm not talking about myself, but I have seen riders that have just been dropped from brands, whether they were relying on a certain part of that income, I don't know, but I can understand how it can break someone. And I do think that, like, you know, some of these guys take some serious slams, and when you're out of the game and you can't be going Mach 10 and you're seeing all your boys or your friends, just everyone killing it, and you feel like you now got to play catch up, because not only are you waiting for your body to heal, but mentally you're bored, right? And if you push yourself too hard, you're just going to damage your whatever you've hurt even more. And as you get older, that seems to get harder and harder. So I can't understand. Let me rephrase. I have a lot of respect for the athletes who get up, especially the ones that are in, like, you got people like Billy Watts, he's 25, and look at him, he's killing it, literally killing it, you know? So I don't think that you're old just because you're in your mid-20s, but I do think it gets harder. And, you know, it is very mentally draining, you know? I think if someone's in the spotlight all the time, and some of these people are in the spotlight from a young age, you know, this is all they know. So I do respect that they are living like different lifestyles of scootering as opposed to what people in the past done. But what I try and tell people is, like, they're human too. Like, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors in their own personal bubble, you know? Like, their body could be in physical pain, they could mentally be drained and have enough. Like, I can't imagine that kind of pressure. So when you see riders drop off the map and sort of disappear, it's kind of, no one really talks about it sometimes, you know, and it's kind of like, oh, I hope they're good, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I do think that, like, there's a lot of stresses on riders, and some people, they are heartbroken if they don't make it, you know. But if you're riding scooters to be the best and that's your end goal, all I can say is, like, you know, good luck to you. Because to be honest, riding scooters is just about having fun, you know, and all of this competitive side of things and video parts that people drop is like the cherry on the top that comes with it, you know. But the sweetest part is just being able to go and hang with your friends, you know. It's kind of weird to put into context a little bit. I mean, I think that I definitely wasn't ready for a contest like that. But I'd only ever rode at my own local park, right? So I'd never really been to any other parks. So it was either SCOOTERING or Wandle, right? And so my knowledge of, like, vast other parks and being able to adapt was not the best. So I was like, I just went out there and had fun and did what I could, right? And just, you know, because I think that, like, if you take things too seriously, like, you got to have fun. You got to, like, the whole point is, you know, you put in the sport on the map. Like, when the sport's on the map like that, and so many people can watch, like, you're just showcasing all the variety. But it did make me hungry to want to go back the following year, which didn't end up being the outcome. But no, it was still an amazing experience. I got to ride amongst people that I used to watch video parts with, you know, so it was just such a cool thing to do, you know. I don't care about, like, winning the contest, it was just being at the contest, you know, let alone competing. So it was just like a crazy experience that I was lucky to be a part of, you know. I wasn't even thinking like that, man. Like, I just turned up and I was told, like, there was a contest there, and, like, I was just having fun, you know. And I'd forgotten about it until you mentioned it. So, like, it wasn't a major thing. It was just like, I did a trick. People thought it was cool at the time. cool. Like, it was just a good day. But no, I just went there just to have a good session, you know, and everyone was just throwing hammers, so it was a good time. That was many years ago. So. Yeah, it was a good feeling, man. Like, you know, I'd only just started like doing sort of weird combos, like, but I tend not to really ride like that anymore. I think it was just like, that was the time and place, and that's just what went down on the day, you know. But like, yeah, it was a good feeling, you know, to go and like get some free money. Can't complain. Okay. So I wouldn't say I had a career, like, as a sense. I think I've just been riding like for quite a while. But I would say the biggest highlight, I would say, was staying with the Undialed boys just before their channel started to like blow up. And we got the opportunity, my good friend Ben Wilco and I went over to America, and we got to hang with the Scooter Farm boys, we got to hang with the Volt crew, stay at one of their houses. We got to go to Woodward. That was a very amazing experience for me. And just seeing like certain things that you wouldn't normally see, like, you know, because it's not often that people always get to go abroad and ride. So being able to go to America and go to Woodward for free was probably the best experience I think that I've ever received. You know, that I've been blessed to be able to have the opportunity to go and do. And then I think you said downfall. I think the biggest downfall has just been like the number of injuries that I've sustained for myself, because I work nighttime as well. So like, in the summer I'll be at the skate park like 9 in the morning, ready to go, loads of water down there, snacks, just sometimes take a med kit as well, just because in the summer it gets busy. Then I'll ride there from like 9, 10 in the morning all the way till like 4 o'clock, and then I go to work from 5 until about 1 in the morning, and then I go home and then repeat the same pattern, you know. All just for having fun, you know, keeping fit. It's a good outlet. You get exercise, and it's just fun to learn new tricks. And just trying to not get injured is the main one, because it really sucks. It really does affect my living, you know, when I can't work. So, and that, you know, that does include both physically and mentally. It can get draining at times, you know. If you get injured, you go on a mental like a downward spiral mentally. I think a lot of older riders, you know, you see them not because of the sport, but I think it's because when you can't do something you enjoy, it's very easy for someone to pick up a bottle of whatever they're given, drink B, or to pick up perhaps a substance of some sort. And you see, it's kind of unspoken about, but a lot of riders in the industry, like, there's partying and there's people that do have problems. And I do think some of those problems do stem from them perhaps not making it from scooters. And I think it is important that we, you know, some of these people might not want to talk, but I think that if there's one thing I would put out there to the scooter industry is to just like check up on your people once in a while, you know, because some people, when they're left in silence, you never know. And like, not to get deep, but like, I've had 2 or 3 people from my pub who were customers, who have like taken their own lives purely because they've had financial problems, because they've not spoken to people, because they're not quite making it in life. So I just have like that same message for like anyone that I ever, you know, when I'm riding, like if anyone ever wants to talk, like I'm always trying to be an open ear, and I think we all need to have that sometimes, you know, because like, you know, people can get upset or people can get down, but the most important thing is like just to watch out for your homies over everything. Like, just go and have a good time, check your people are good, and just, you know, keep shredding basically. I think the biggest barrier would be the sense that scootering has always been a very good outlet for myself, because it's managed to always keep me in shape. And I do other sports as well, so I rollerblade and I skateboard and I cycle as well. And I do those to keep myself busy and keep myself on my toes. I think that if you don't have structure in your life, then it's very easy to go on that downward spiral. Especially when you're an adult and you feel like sometimes the whole world's against you. I think that it's good to stay organised, and it's very hard to get yourself to that stage. But I would say that, like, if people do struggle, like, there's no shame in asking for help if you need help. Like, sometimes people have to open up, and like, everyone's always flexing on Instagram, and I feel like we live in this fake generation almost of, like, I've seen people in scooters go from being best friends to just never talking to each other, hating each other. And to me, that's not what the sport is about. It's just about having fun with your friends, and it's all just over a bit of clout in the industry. Like, it's almost a fuckery to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a sport. Like, at the end of the day, like, okay, it's everything to that person, but like, at the same time, like, we're all here to have a good time. We're not here for petty clout beef, And so I just think it's good to just watch out for people and just be nice to one another. It's real simple. Like, people walking around sometimes, like, yeah, man, I don't know, be like Cody Flomp. That kid's always smiling, I don't get into depth too much about my downtimes. It's something that it's a learning experience in my life. If I didn't have scooters, would I have made it through it? I don't know. That's how I answer. That's the only way I can really answer that question. Kept me busy, could have been up to mischief or what else, who knows. So, like, I'm just grateful I had something to kind of keep me afloat in those hard times, And they're challenges you face in your adult life, but it's how you take on that challenge. Some people say challenge accepted, some people just give up, and, like, for me, giving up was not an option. So, like, it just wasn't in my favour. So I'm doing great, like, I'm forever thankful for, like, being a part of scooters and, like, doing other wheel-based sports as well. I just enjoy doing it. I feel like I don't know, like, some people feel like that's what they're meant to do. Like, all I ever want to do is just go and be on wheels, like, in my free time. That's what I enjoy doing. Just trying to create something, just trying to have fun. That's what I live and breathe to do. So for as long as I can do that, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stay focused on just having a good time. And if you're having a good time, then it's a win-win, right? I think that there's a lot of riders who set a good example for these younger riders. I think Cody Flom is exceptional in his work. I respect what a lot of these riders are doing now. People like Koto of Action Space, you look at riders like Chris Farris, very humble, very hardworking. I would just say, like, just be yourself. Like, that's all you can ever do. But I'm not in this new generation of riders, and so for me, like, I never edit things on Instagram or make videos. I just have fun, record something, like, oh, this was today's antics. It's just because to me it's just I'm just showcasing it for fun. Whereas for these guys it's serious. So I can't imagine being in their shoes. But all I can suggest is just be kind to one another. Respect each other as riders, as athletes, as bros, whatever. But just go out there and have fun. Like, stop focusing on, like, trying to be someone else. Like, rather than try to be the best version of Kota you can try and be like, just be the best version of yourself. That's the only way I can really put it. Because no one can be a better you than you, do you know what I mean? Like, you can look like a rider, talk like a rider, and make your riding look just like that person, but you're not them. So you may as well just go and be you and like create whatever it is you want to create and just use your energy in a positive way. Okay, it's like a catch-22 because basically, if it's rider owned, riders know what they want, okay? But there's this little thing called business, yeah? You can't, I don't think if you've got the hustle, like if you've got the equipment and you've got like the right platforms you can use for your own brand, fantastic, right? If it takes off and you've got a sturdy product, I think it's great. The flip side of that, if a businessman was to just make scooters, he wouldn't know what he's doing and just order anything from China. So I think it's the case of like either, with certain scooter riders, if they're growing up doing business now, it's a good market for them to get in, but there's a lot of brands doing it now. So it's kind of like, okay, I get the whole sport rider owned, so certain people can eat, but like everyone's got to eat, right? So if we're all doing that, it's no longer unique. It's just the same. But I think that's kind of where scooters will go. Like most companies will end up having riders that own them. That's just the way it will go, in my opinion, by the end of it. Oh man, I don't care what someone does on a scooter. Like, I mean, obviously, like, to me, it's just like this, yeah? If you throw down, you throw down, that's it. Like, I'm impressed if I can clearly see that person is trying, yeah? So, because I know 9 times out of 10, I'm probably not doing that, so, and because I do different sports as well, like, I do respect how individual scooters are as a sport. Like, they're like this fusion of all these sports, but they're just so different. So I do, I got a lot of respect for whatever people are doing, you know. Some of the stuff they're doing now is just beyond my understanding. Like I said, it's just Rubik's Cubes in the air now, you know. Yeah, I think some riders have taken it on like really well. Like look at Juzzy, yeah. Like Juzzy just adapted. He done loads of video parts on YouTube and then keeps up to date on like Instagram making his edits. So he just does both, and because he's accommodating to both, look at how successful he's doing. Like in the sense of his clips going around the industry. You know what someone makes, I have no idea. You know, that's not my prerogative, it's not my business, I don't care. But for some of these kids, I think they get this ideology that people just get money for nothing, and it's like they have no idea how hard some of these guys work. You know, I think that's the only thing. Park riders don't always understand how hard the street riders work, and vice versa, because they're not doing the same. But when you've got hybrid riders like Morrison, it just puts a whole different remix on the whole situation, and it's just kind of like, okay, like yeah, just if he's doing it on that one setup, does that make that the best setup? You know, it's weird, man. It's very weird. Oh, that's put me on the spot a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna say right now. I think one of the best brands, as far as what I like personally, I think TSI is very, very good. I know their deck snap. I just really enjoy their parts. I also very much like Drone. I had one of their decks, one of the best decks I've ever had. It was a smaller park deck too, funnily enough, but it was so good. Like, it was my favourite setup. Had 125s on it, 4 pegs, brakeless, crowbars. It was the dream, all blacked out. And then third brand, ooh. Just because they've been around a long time, I'm gonna say Eagle. Just because I know I can rely on their wheels at least, because I can't be flexing buying protos, you know. So like, obviously I'm trying to hit up that sale on whatever website. But I know that I can run Eagles down to the core when I'm on budget life, so. Oh yeah, I can answer this shortly. There's a lot of riders, they're all really good. It's kind of just a bit strange to me how they're all just like, they're like ninjas in the air at like 9. Like, I don't know what kind of steroids their mum put in their milk, but like, I don't know, they're just like neon ninjas flying in the air, you know. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. I think it's good, but it's also just sort of annoying sometimes, like, you know, but it's just, they're doing madness in it, and that's what they want to do in it, so just leave them to it. No, not at all. I think that, like, at the end of the day, you got to weigh up certain things, yeah. It's like, you know, if you had access to a world-class skate park every day, okay, and you had the right circumstances, you know, if you was 9 years old and you had 2 parents who can both drive and share on the responsibility, and you've got no care in the world, like, of course you're going to get good. If they're taking you there every day, you know, you've got a world-class skate park, for example, like Adrenaline Alley, like Corby basically, Rush. You know, you've got these like amazing indoor parks, ramp works, all over the country. Like, so when people live near them, I think if you can get to them, it does help. You know, look at the base. Not everyone drives who goes there, but a lot of kids who go there, very talented. That park produces some serious clips. You know, it's almost like a mini version of Woodward. You know, give or take, just scaled down. But the ramps are still quite big, so you know. I don't really know, like, I don't really care, like, of course the sport's going to progress, like, I'm not hard on myself because I can't do it, it's like, that's just how it be. If you know, I push myself on certain realms that I would never do again, you know, and, like, I've proven a point to myself, and that's okay. You know, you don't need to be hard on yourself just because you can't do something, it's just a trick, man, at the end of the day, like, but if it means everything to you, I don't know how to suggest. You know, like I'm just doing it for fun, you know, so. Yeah, just anyone who's helped me out from time to time in certain parts of life, I guess you could say. Very grateful for my family. Just grateful to have wheels, you know, like be able to go and have fun. It's quite, I enjoy being able to do that, you know, just picking up a set of wheels and just going. I mean, like, you know, like I have an Instagram account, you know, there's some clips on there, but I mean, it's not that big, you know, I mean, you never know, Moses might share a clip one day. I mean, like, but if you want to watch an old person ride scooters, then my Instagram is nerdsties. I'm not going to spell it because
it'll be on the screen.
It's just, yeah. Apparently. So that's pending, you know.
And in the links below as well.
I mean, you know, this is Moses. So if you don't know, get to know.
Thanks for watching another video, guys. This has been The Mental Battle with James Power. And stay tuned. Feel free to subscribe and check out our pages and links below.